Claire had never imagined that her life would break in a single afternoon, but it did when the hospital director called her into the office and told her she was finished. The reason was simple: she had argued too much about the rules, she had refused to turn away poor patients who could not pay, and she had spoken against the cruel system that treated numbers more kindly than human beings. The director's words were cold and final: "Your contract is terminated." Claire walked out of the hospital carrying a box of her belongings, her uniform still on her shoulders, but her heart felt empty. She had spent years saving lives, and in return she was now unwanted. She felt anger mixed with sorrow as she got into her old car and drove away from the city, not caring where the road would take her. The night sky above was dark and silent until suddenly the silence shattered. Claire saw a streak of fire blazing across the heavens. It looked like a star falling, but much closer and much larger. It burned like a wound in the sky, and it disappeared beyond the hills. Her hands tightened on the wheel, her heart racing. Curiosity overcame her grief. She turned her car toward the glow that still flickered on the horizon. When she arrived at the rocky slope, she found smoke rising between broken trees. The air smelled of iron and ash. Her footsteps crunched on blackened ground, and her chest trembled with both fear and excitement. She expected wreckage, maybe a crashed plane, maybe a meteor, but what she saw made her blood freeze. In the clearing lay a massive shape larger than a truck. Its scales shimmered faintly like molten metal under the moonlight. Its wings were torn, one bent at an unnatural angle. Its chest rose and fell shallow, as if every breath was a battle. Claire thought she was dreaming, but when she stepped closer the ground shook with the creature's weak groan. It was a dragon. She should have run, she should have screamed, yet the old instinct of a nurse flared in her heart. Here was a living being, broken and bleeding and dying, and she could not turn away. She whispered to herself, "It is just like any patient. It bleeds, it breathes, it hurts." She forced her trembling hands to act, pulling her small medical kit from the car. She approached the impossible creature. The dragon's eye opened, one lid heavy and glowing with a strange blue light. It looked straight at her, and she heard a voice not through her ears but inside her head. "Help me, nurse." Claire gasped. She dropped her kit. How did it know her name? The dragon exhaled a hot breath that smelled of smoke and blood. She knelt by its wounds, cutting fabric from her own jacket to stop the bleeding. She cleaned burns with shaking fingers, whispering nonsense words of comfort as she would to a child. The dragon shivered, its scales flashing symbols she could not read, yet somehow she felt them pressing into her mind. The hours of the night passed slowly, the wind cold around her, the forest silent, as if holding its breath. She worked with everything she remembered from her training, improvising with the few tools she had. Each moment she expected the creature to die in her arms, but it fought on, clinging to life with stubborn fire. Finally the dragon's breathing deepened, its eyes closed as if resting, not defeated. Claire sat back exhausted, sweat on her face and ash on her clothes. She felt a strange warmth moving through her chest, as if her own life was connected to the beast. She looked at her phone to call for help, but the screen flickered. No signal, it read. Then suddenly strange letters flashed across the black screen. Unknown transmission detected. She dropped the phone in shock. The night air felt heavier around her, the forest no longer silent, but whispering with sound she could not explain. She turned toward the dragon, but it was already fading into unconsciousness, its voice a final echo inside her head. "You helped me, now you are marked." Claire held her breath in the cold night, her heart thundering in her chest, unaware that this single choice to save a dying dragon had already opened the door to something far greater and far more dangerous than she could ever imagine. Claire hardly slept that night. She stayed in the old barn at the edge of her father's abandoned land, with the wounded dragon lying in the hay. The creature's body filled the place with heat like a living furnace. Its chest rose and fell with a heavy rhythm, each breath rough but stronger than before. She had treated patients all her life, but never had she felt so uncertain, so afraid, and yet so needed. Every time she closed her eyes, strange visions returned to her, visions of endless skies burning, stars and battles among worlds. She saw ships of light chasing shadows across galaxies, and always in the distance she saw the same dragon, its scales blazing like fire. But in the visions she was never just watching, she was standing beside it, her hands glowing with energy she did not understand. When she woke, sweating in the darkness, the dragon's eye was half open, glowing faintly as though it knew what she had seen. She whispered softly, "Do you hear me? Can you understand me?" The dragon did not move. Its mind was silent, yet she felt warmth in her chest again, a warmth that told her she was not alone outside the barn. The night stretched long, but the silence was not natural. Every time the wind blew through the broken boards, she thought she heard whispers, a low hum crawling across her ears like distant machines searching the ground around her. She noticed odd patterns in the dirt, not tracks of animals, not tracks of humans, but lines burned into the soil like something had scanned the earth itself. Claire shivered. She tried to call the police again, but her phone only blinked with strange symbols, no signal, only that message repeating, "Unknown transmission detected." She felt a wave of fear pressing on her heart, but she told herself, this is just exhaustion, stress, imagination. Still she could not shake the feeling that something unseen was already hunting the creature she had chosen to protect. By dawn the dragon stirred, its eye opening more fully. It tried to lift its head but collapsed again. Weak smoke rising faintly from its nostrils. Claire touched its warm scales and whispered, "Stay alive, I will keep you safe." But the world outside had already changed. The first sound was deep and distant, a low hum rolling through the ground, rattling the old barn walls. Claire stood quickly, her breath caught in her throat. The hum grew louder, turning into a vibration that shook the earth. She ran outside into the open field, her eyes wide. The morning sky was bright with sunlight, but suddenly the light Dim shadows sweeping across the land. Her heart pounded when she looked up. Shapes broke through the clouds, for vast alien starships descended silently, their metal skins gleaming with symbols like those that had flashed on her phone. Their engines were not like planes, they moved without sound except for the pressure that pressed against her chest, like the sky itself was falling. Each ship lowered with terrifying grace, circling above her land. The air trembled, the animals in the nearby woods cried and fled, birds scattering in panic. Claire could not move, she could only watch as the starships spread across the sky, their shadows swallowing her farm, her barn, and the wounded dragon hidden inside. One ship opened from its underside, beams of light stabbing down like searchlights sweeping across the earth. They moved closer to her field, closer to her home, closer to the barn where the impossible secret was hidden. Claire whispered, "No, no, no," her heart slamming against her ribs. She ran back to the barn, staring at the dragon that now tried to raise its head again, its eyes blazing with sudden warning. In her mind the voice returned, not weak this time, but urgent. "They are here." The ground shook harder, dust falling from the rafters, the air itself burning with electricity, and when Claire turned again she saw the shadows of alien soldiers moving in the light of the landing ships. They were coming straight for her. The air grew heavier as the starships hovered above her land, their enormous shadows stretching across the field like claws reaching for prey. The ground quaked as a ramp lowered from the nearest ship. Beams of white light cut through the morning mist, and out of them marched figures in armor, tall, sharp, and cold, their bodies covered in plates that gleamed like steel but shifted with colors that made no sense. Claire pressed herself against the barn door, her chest tight with fear. These were not men. They were something else. Their movements were too exact, too silent. Each one carried a weapon that pulsed faintly with blue energy, and when they stepped into the soil the burned lines she had seen in the night flared brighter, as if the earth itself obeyed them. One of the armored soldiers raised a device and scanned the field. A strange vibration rattled through the air, and the soldier's voice echoed in a language she could not understand. But then the helmet turned and words came in broken human speech. "Where is the beast?" Claire froze. She thought of the dragon inside the barn, its body hidden under hay, its breathing deep but uneven. Her instinct screamed to run, but her legs refused. The soldiers spread out, their eyes glowing faintly from behind masks. They searched the house, the broken fences, the trees, and then their leader stepped forward, taller than the others, his armor black with red symbols etched across the chest. He spoke in a voice that seemed both mechanical and alive. "The beast is wounded, it cannot travel far, find it now." The others obeyed, scanning every inch of her land. Claire's heart hammered. She tried to look calm, but her fear betrayed her. One soldier stopped and turned its mask, facing her directly. It tilted its head as if studying her, then it stepped closer, its voice low, "Your body is marked." Claire stumbled back. She had no idea what it meant, but her chest grew warm where she had felt the dragon's power. The soldier raised a clawed hand to touch her shoulder, and in that instant the dragon inside the barn stirred, its body shifting with a groan that shook the wood. The soldiers all turned instantly, weapons raised at the sound. The leader lifted a hand, and the weapons powered brighter. The barn walls rattled as if the alien presence forced every nail to scream. Claire's voice cracked, "No, wait, there is nothing here." She tried to shield the door, but the leader stared straight into her eyes, his tone cold yet certain. "You protected human, you are bound to it now." Claire's heart sank. The soldier nearest her stepped forward, raising his weapon toward the barn door, the hum of power rising sharp and deadly. Claire gasped, unable to stop it, knowing that in seconds the secret she had tried to protect would be revealed. The weapon hummed louder as the armored soldier aimed at the barn door, the blue glow spilling across Claire's face. She wanted to scream, but her throat locked tight, her hands lifted in a useless shield as if a thin body could block the storm that was about to break. The door shook once, then a deafening roar ripped through the barn. The wooden beams splintered outward in a shower of sparks and hay. The dragon burst through, wings spread wide, though broken, scales blazing with a furious light that lit the entire field. The soldiers staggered back, their weapons firing lines of blue energy slicing through the air. The beams struck the dragon's body, but instead of falling the beast unleashed a torrent of fire so bright and hot the grass beneath Claire's feet caught flame. She stumbled away, shielding her eyes. The dragon's voice thundered inside her head, "Protect yourself, Claire." The sky itself trembled as fire clashed against alien weapons. The soldiers moved with precision, but they were no match for the raw fury of the dragon. Their armor glowed as flames licked across them. Some fell to the ground, others retreated, but the leader stood firm, raising his hand and summoning a shield of red light that split the dragon's fire. Claire's breath caught. She had never seen such power. The clash of alien energy and ancient flame shook the earth. The barn collapsed behind them in burning ruins, yet in the chaos she felt the strange warmth again rushing through her veins, stronger this time. Her hands tingled, her vision sharpened. The dragon's life was inside her. The battle raged around her, fire streaks against blue beams, smoke rising into the morning sky. Neighbors in distant houses would soon see everything, but Claire could not move. She was bound to the storm. The dragon roared again, spinning fire in a circle that forced the soldiers back, but its body faltered, one wing bent useless, one leg shaking from weakness. It could not hold for long. Claire's fear twisted to resolve. She picked up a heavy metal rod from the broken barn floor and swung it at a soldier who came too close. The strike did little, but the distraction was enough. The dragon blasted the soldier away in fire, but Claire knew this was not victory, only delay. In the clearing smoke, the leader lowered his shield, his red symbols burning brighter. He pointed toward Claire, and his voice was clear and sharp, "Leave the beast alive, take the girl, she is the chosen one, capture her now." The smoke curled across the broken field carrying the smell of fire and ash. The dragon stood tall but weak, its sides heaving, every breath a battle, its glowing eyes locked on the alien commander who had called Claire the chosen one. Claire's knees trembled. She did not feel like anyone chosen. She felt like a woman who had lost her job yesterday and somehow found herself standing between a dying dragon and an army from the stars. The armored soldiers began to circle her, their movements too smooth, too inhuman, their weapons raised but not firing, as if they were under strict command. Claire gripped the metal rod tighter, though her hands shook, sweat running down her face. She wanted to scream, run, but she could not abandon the creature she had saved. The dragon lowered its head toward her, and for a moment its mind opened into hers, filling her with visions that took her breath away. She saw vast skies beyond Earth, stars burning brighter than suns, rivers of fire flowing between worlds, and creatures like the one before her soaring across galaxies, protecting gateways of light. The dragon's voice thundered softly inside her thoughts. Long ago we guarded the bridges between stars, but our kind was hunted until only I remained. They seek me because I hold the key to open the stargates. Claire gasped, her chest burning with a strange energy that pulsed like a heartbeat inside her. She realized the bond was real. The dragon had given her part of itself when she saved its life. She whispered, "But why me?" The dragon's answer was sorrowful, "Because you chose compassion when all others would choose fear." The aliens drew closer. The commander's voice carried across the smoke, "Give us the beast, human. You cannot protect it, but you can save yourself. Step aside." Claire clenched her jaw, shaking her head. "No." The commander's red symbols flared brighter and his mask tilted as though studying her. He said, "Then know this, you carry its mark. You are bound to its power. Your world will fall for your choice." Before she could answer, the air shimmered, and a new image appeared on the commander's wrist, a screen glowing with light. Claire's stomach dropped when she saw the face displayed. It was Dr. Henning, her former hospital boss, his calm eyes looking out from the alien device as if he belonged to them. Henning's voice was smooth and familiar. "Claire, you should not fight this. Surrender the creature and return to us. Everything can be forgotten. You will be safe again." Her mouth went dry, her chest tight with betrayal. The man who had fired her was not only part of this but was guiding them with the cold voice of someone who had already sold out humanity. The dragon growled low, smoke curling from its mouth, the sound rumbling through Claire's bones, and she knew the truth. Her old life was gone. The world she thought she understood had ended, and the only path forward was fire. Claire's world tilted as she stared at the glowing screen, the familiar face of Dr. Henning smiling coldly from inside an alien device. She could not believe it. The man who once judged her for breaking hospital rules was now standing with beings from another world. Her breath shook in her chest, betrayal cutting deeper than any weapon. The commander lowered his wrist and gave the order, "Capture them." The soldiers advanced, their weapons humming with deadly energy. The dragon lurched forward, roaring flames that split the air, forcing the aliens back, but every blast drained its strength. Its body trembled. Claire grabbed the dragon's neck, begging it to move. "We have to run now." With one last surge of fire, the dragon cleared a path and spread its broken wings, forcing itself into the air. Claire clung to its scales as the beast carried her over the burning barn, the world below shrinking into chaos. But the aliens were not far behind. Their ships shifted in the sky, engines glowing as they pursued, bolts of blue energy slicing past Claire's head. The dragon struggled, rising higher across the trees and fields, but every movement was agony. Its blood left sparks in the air like falling stars. Claire felt its pain as if it were her own, her chest burning each time its wings fought against gravity. They fled into the wild forests, the dragon finally crashing into a hidden valley surrounded by stone cliffs, smoke curling from its wounds. Claire slid off and collapsed on the dirt, coughing. She looked up at the beast, its body shaking but its eyes burning with defiance. The bond between them pulsed stronger now. She could feel every throb of its heart, every flicker of its strength, and she realized she was changing too. Her own wounds from the escape were closing faster than they should, her muscles still aching but already knitting together. She whispered, "What is happening to me?" The dragon's mind answered, "You are bound to my fire. Your blood carries my spark. They will hunt you as they hunt me." Claire shivered, but there was no time to think. The hum of alien engines echoed over the valley. They were still searching, beams of light sweeping across the forest. She dragged herself and the dragon deeper into a cavern hidden by rocks. Inside the shadows she found remnants of human machines, old metal walls rusting, a forgotten bunker. She moved through it, her flashlight revealing maps, crates and broken monitors, all stamped with military marks. She stopped in front of a dusty folder left on a steel table, her fingers trembling as she opened it. Inside were sketches, photographs and reports, not of aliens but of dragons stretching back decades. Government seals on every page, words underlined, classified threats known since 1947. Her breath caught. The world had always known about these creatures. They had hidden it from everyone. She stared at the dragon, its glowing eyes reflecting the dim light, and in that moment she understood she was not in a new war. She had stepped into one that had been waiting for her long before she was even born. The bunker walls felt cold around her, the smell of rust and dust thick in the air. Claire flipped through the old files with shaking hands, photographs of dragons chained in military labs, their wings cut, their fire measured in graphs, black ink notes scrawled across the pages. Containment required, dangerous to human order. Every image made her stomach twist. The dragon watched her silently, its glowing eyes steady even in pain. She whispered, "You suffered because of us, didn't you?" Its voice rolled Through her mind calm but heavy with sorrow, your kind feared what they could not control. They traded honor for chains, they chose war instead of trust. Claire pressed her back against the steel wall, her mind racing, pieces falling into place. Her firing, her sudden encounter with the dragon, the arrival of the ships, and now the betrayal of Dr. Henning. This was not random. She was pulled into a story older and darker than her own life. Her chest still throbbed with a strange warmth, the bond deeper now. Every time she looked at her hands, she swore she could see faint light under her skin. The sound of engines rumbled overhead again, dust raining from the ceiling. The aliens had not given up. The dragon lowered its head, smoke curling from its nostrils, and said, "They will offer you a choice. Surrender me and live, or keep me and burn." Claire swallowed hard, her thoughts spinning. Images of her old life flashed before her, her small apartment, her hospital patients, the little kindnesses she had given them. None of that could return. She was already marked. The dragon's fire inside her blood. The bunker lights suddenly flickered alive, a screen on the wall glowing blue, and once again Dr. Henning's face appeared clear and calm, his voice carried through hidden speakers. "Claire, I am giving you one chance. Leave the creature. It is dying. It will not survive the night. Step outside, and we will ensure your safety." Her throat tightened. She shouted back, "Safety is a lie. You sold us to them." Henning's smile did not change. He simply replied, "You never understood the bigger picture. Humans cannot stand against the stars, but you can still save yourself. Join us. Forget what you saw, forget what you touched." The alien commander's voice joined his, deeper and colder. "Give us the beast, girl. Your suffering will end." The dragon turned its head toward her, its body sagging under the weight of wounds, its mind whispering into hers, "I am fading. My fire cannot last. I will not ask you to fight for me. Your path is yours alone." Claire's eyes burned with tears, her hands shaking around the old folder. She had to choose. She could walk out, surrender the dragon, and perhaps live a quiet life hidden under alien rule, or she could stand by the creature that had trusted her with its last strength. She lifted her head, meeting the gaze of both the alien on the screen and the beast by her side, her voice low but steady. "I am not giving you up." Henning's smile finally broke. The commander raised his clawed hand in silent command, and the bunker floor rumbled under Claire's feet. She dropped the folder and slammed her palm against the old console, her instincts screaming at her as a deep vibration surged through the bunker, awakening something long asleep in the shadows. Ancient machines stirred, the walls shook, metal grinding against metal, and somewhere deep below the earth a weapon of forgotten power roared to life. The bunker groaned as the ancient machines awakened, dust falling from the ceiling like rain. The vibration rattled the ground beneath Claire's boots, and a low metallic roar surged from deep below the earth. The alien commander froze, his red symbols flickering across his armor as though reacting to the sudden energy. Dr. Henning's face on the screen twisted from calm confidence into startled fear. Claire backed away from the console as the floor cracked open, splitting down the middle with a blinding light rising from beneath. The dragon lifted its head, weak but eyes wide with recognition. Its voice filled her thoughts. "You have woken the guardian fire." The light became a tower blazing upward until it shaped itself into something colossal, a weapon yet alive, a machine forged from both earth and stars, standing taller than the bunker itself as steel walls tore apart. Its limbs glowed with molten veins. Every step it took shook the world above. The alien soldiers scrambled, raising their weapons, firing beams that sizzled against the awakened giant, but the fire guardian swatted them aside with strikes that split the ground. The dragon pushed itself upright, its flames flickering brighter as if the ancient machine breathed strength back into it. Claire felt the fire in her chest flare stronger than ever, her blood pulsing with heat, her hands glowing faintly with veins of light. She realized she was not only bound to the dragon, she was connected to this weapon too. The commander roared in his alien tongue before ordering his fleet. The ships above the valley shifted positions, beams of blue energy lancing downward, striking the guardian. The valley became a battlefield, light against fire, steel against energy. Claire stumbled, but the dragon's mind steadied her. "Stand with me, our fire is one now." She climbed onto its back, clinging to its hot scales as the beast launched skyward, broken wings beating with desperate fury. Fire spilled from its mouth in great torrents, slamming into alien ships. The guardian below hurled spears of molten light tearing through the sky. The clash echoed across the world, seen by farmers, travelers and satellites above Earth, humans everywhere staring at the impossible battle unfolding in daylight. Claire's body shook with every strike, but she did not let go. She guided the dragon through the storm, their minds one, their fire burning as the alien fleet began to falter, explosions tearing holes in their shining hulls. The commander's ship descended directly in front of her, its weapons glowing hotter than the sun. Claire's chest burned, her voice crying out not in fear but in defiance as she raised her glowing hands, fire spilling outward through the dragon, amplifying its roar. Together they unleashed a blast that shattered the commander's shield and ripped his ship apart. The sky lit with fire, the surviving alien craft broke formation, fleeing into the cloud. Silence fell across the valley, smoke curling into the heavens. The guardian stood still, its glow dimming before sinking back into the earth, the ground closing over it as if nothing had happened. The dragon landed hard, its body collapsing. Claire slid from its back, rushing to its side, tears streaming. It looked at her one last time, its voice a whisper inside her thoughts, "You were my keeper, you were my fire." Then its body dissolved into streams of starlight flowing into her chest until nothing remained. Claire sobbed, feeling the fire now alive only inside her. She was alone but not empty. She carried the last dragon's spark, the battlefield quiet, her land scorched, her life forever changed. She thought it was over, but then the Clouds above split open again, revealing not 4 ships but dozens far larger, darker, their shadows covering the sky. A new voice thundered into her mind, not the dragons but something older, something vast. The war has only begun.